Welcome back to the Wine Zone. I'm Konrad Ejbich, and this is Pro and Con. Today, my guest is Pierre Charon. Pierre is the head winemaker at Remy-Pannier. It's called Ackerman Remy-Pannier. The brand is Remy-Pannier. We see it here as Remy-Pannier in Canada. Pierre is the head winemaker. He is situated in Anjou. The winery has three wineries. The company has three wineries, and the big one is in Anjou, where they make white and this wonderful rosé. Today, well, first of all, let's just say welcome to Toronto.
Thank you.
Is this your first visit?
It's my first visit in Canada.
Yeah? So what have you seen? How long have you been here, and what have you seen?
It's been 2 days.
Yeah?
So
have you been to Niagara Falls?
No.
Have you seen the CN Tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard not to see it.
Okay. So most of your time, I guess, how long are you going to be here?
Just a couple of days.
Right, and then are you staying in Ontario? Are you going out to British Columbia or Montreal? Or?
Well, we're going to Montreal actually.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, which would be a little easier since I think they understand you a little better than I do. Much of it, well, not when you're speaking. No, you're good. You're good. So I wanted to ask you, Pierre, you've worked all over France and in various parts of the world, in New Zealand,
yes.
in Argentina, and in Chile.
No, not in Argentina, in Chile only. Yeah, I just traveled Argentina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you traveled through Argentina, so you've
Yeah.
seen it, but you've never worked in North America.
Actually, no.
How come? Why?
There is a simple explanation.
Yeah.
Because in the so I work for vintage, and vintage is at summertime. And in the northern hemisphere, the vintage is at the same time in Europe and in the North America.
Yes, yes, yes.
And my heart, I'm
Right.
sorry,
No, I understand.
in France,
Okay.
in Europe, than in North America. And I took the opportunity to travel in the southern hemisphere at the winter time.
At the opposite time of course. So, and I'll come back to the 2 times a year at one point here. But so you know, there are a lot of really great French winemakers in Canada.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You can. Yeah, we hired great French winemakers.
Good.
Think about it. now these wines are from the Loire. You're from the Loire, and these wines are actually really light, simple, and really pure.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that about them is that they're not hugely pretentious, and they're well priced too. And in fact, the Anjou that we're going to taste today is going to be on sale in Ontario, off for next month or so. But I wanted to ask you, these are a terrific expression of the Loire. They're for people who like to drink wine rather than sit around and talk about it. You know what I mean? They just drink.
Yeah, I know.
It's good. It's good, and in that respect, it's good that it's also inexpensive. But what I wonder about is, this appears to be, to me, an underappreciated delicacy of the wine world right now. In other words, my sense is that this is wine that goes with really lightish food.
Yeah.
Is that the food of the Loire? Because all the wines of the Loire tend to be a little lighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
More easy drinking.
I think the Loire Valley has always made very good value for money wine, and very wine that you drink on the regular basis, that people really don't think about, oh, am I gonna have a wine tonight or
yeah, or am I gonna age it for 20 years?
No, they just drink it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it so much, we just drink it. We have it on our table like a bit all the time.
And because it's such an easy drinking wine, it seems to me that the Loire has been suffering a bit in sales globally because people are looking for more intense wines.
Yeah, I think some people, they are looking for concentration, but actually they don't really drink wine. They like to test wine for a very short period and say, oh, this wine is much more concentrated, much more powerful. But after they're not drinking that wine at their table, you know.
Right.
They're not finishing the bottle.
Right. So it's sampling. It's sort of like video traveling. We're going on a little vacation, but living here. I live here, but I travel and I visit there. So there was a time, like right now, Canada is 6th in volume, and 5th in value for Loire wines, which means that Canadians are drinking, you know, better quality wines. That's what it strikes me as. But there was a time when wines of the Loire were the biggest selling wines in the country. Muscadet, Puy Fumé, Sancerre, these were all big wines. And today, those big names seem to have fallen back. And so what can you tell me about why most people who are focused on these, whatever, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, or etc., why they should focus on these wines?
They should focus on this wine because really it's they're drinkable. Like you open the bottle, you finish it, and it's very part of the meal. It's very versatile with food. We have this really nice acidity. All our wines are acidity driven, and this makes you salivate. This is very appealing for food. So I think it's not fair for the Muscadet. Muscadet is a great wine. You shouldn't live without Muscadet. I couldn't live without Muscadet. Especially you have oysters here,
right?
And you have seafood,
right?
And Muscadet it's great for seafood.
It's marvelous. It's marvelous. And I read the grape here is Melon de Bourgogne, right?
Yeah.
The grape is Melon de Bourgogne. Here we've got Sauvignon Blanc from the Touraine.
Yeah.
And here we've got, is that a blend of Cabernet and Gamay, or is that Cabernet d'Anjou, or is that Gamay d'Anjou?
It's a blend of variety we have in Anjou. It's called Grolot.
Grolot, yeah.
And some Gamay and some Cabernet.
Okay.
But
And
it's mainly Grolot.
right, but it has a little bit of residual sugar,
yes,
unlike the others, but the acidity is so high that it makes it so dry finish.
Yeah.
I don't want to be talking about it, I want you to be talking about it, but I love this with ham.
Yeah.
I love this with summer, with picnics, with anything.
Exactly, yeah.
With just friends and no food.
It's very refreshing, actually. Yeah. And it can pair with all sorts of different food. You can try, especially spicy food. Spicy food is super hard to match a good wine with that. They always destroy the wine, and this wine with the residual sugar makes you. It's very good for the spicy food.
No, when you talk about spicy food, are you talking about a little bit of fresh ground pepper, or do you mean like some real Asian Szechuan, ouch, hot stuff? Like Indian curries, Mexican tacos, that kind of thing?
I'm talking about this kind of thing,
Yeah, like really stuff that burns your flesh off.
Yeah.
Right, because it's the sweetness here.
Yes.
That balances. So, I think, I was thinking about the Loire. I've been thinking about the Loire ever since we talked about the fact that we meet. And one of the things that I think that seems to be missing in the Loire, and correct me if I'm wrong, is icon wines. Do you have icon wines? You know what I mean.
We do have some of the greatest appellation of France are in the Loire.
Yeah.
If you look at for the red one, we have Saumur Champigny.
Yes.
For the white, we have Savinière.
Right. These are appellations, and I'm looking at great producers. Like, okay, so you got Bordeaux, but you've got the great growths.
Yeah.
You've got the entire Côte d'Iron, but then you've got people like Gigal and Pepin and those. These are the famous names.
We're trying to get famous. Actually.
Yeah.
we want to take that role. We want to make people know about the Loire and showing them something very representative of the Loire.
Does your company Remy-Pannier? I know that you have I think it's 3 wineries and probably contracts with 500, 800 growers. Do you have any chateaus or single properties that you focus on?
Yes, we do.
Can you send some of those to Canada?
We could.
That would be terrific.
Yeah. We have some icon wine. We try to make very top end wines. We do. We have things spectacular.
Right.
We don't have it here.
In which appellation? In Muscadet? In Touraine?
We do
Sancerre?
high-end Muscadet.
Yeah.
Which is made for aging. This Muscadet is going to be more like a classic style of Muscadet.
Right.
That is really drinkable, and you should drink it in 2 or 3 years. But we make a Muscadet that I'm sure you can keep for 10 years.
Fascinating.
Yes.
And what do you do that's different? Because this is Muscadet. This is not Muscadet. It's Muscadet de Savraman. It's not just Muscadet de Savraman. It's Muscadet de Savraman sur lit. Right. So each of those adds a level of quality, a level of richness. What do you do with the Muscadet to make it ageable?
It's really all big on the vineyard. We know well the growers. We know the soil. We're looking for very granitic soils that's gonna give this little more concentration in the wine, and we're looking, when we're doing the blending, we're looking at the mouth. We're looking for fattiness and acidity. We don't really looking for a nice nose or a very expressive nose. We're looking for the mouth, because we know
for power and weight.
Yes, we know that that with the evolution of the wine in bottles, we're gonna get a nice nose. You know, we're gonna get it somehow, but we're looking for the concentration. And when I'm talking about concentration, I'm not talking about. It's nothing comparable with the fatty Chardonnay.
No.
It's still a Muscadet with. It's still
a little more flavor, a little more intensity, a little more I get you completely. So is that because the grape Melon de Bourgogne, which we also grow in Canada, likes granite, prefers granite?
Yeah. Actually, it's the home of Melon de Bourgogne in the Muscadet. It's all granitic area.
Okay.
We have a lot of different soils in the Loire, and if you combine this with the difference of variety, you have all the wine you can imagine. Well,
the largest piece of granite on the planet is the Canadian Shield. So as soon as climate change kicks in about 50 years, we're going to plant a lot of Melon de Bourgogne in northern Ontario.
Sure, you should. We'll be happy if you have it, because it's really a variety that people have to know it. It's very fine. It's not like powerful like a Sauvignon or fat like a Chardonnay. It's really refined, I would say.
I like that, and I would call it almost like a Pinot Gris with class, a lighter Pinot Gris, because it's not lighter, but a leaner. It's whatever. It's good. It's good. Now you've said winemaking is like cooking with an ingredient you can only get once a year.
Unfortunately.
And I don't want to disagree that twice, of course, if you go down south.
Twice.
But I think of cooking as a very creative process, and I think of winemaking as a somewhat formulaic process. So, can you explain what you mean?
I mean, I was referring more about the fact when you want to become a winemaker, you have to practice a lot, a bit like if you want to be a famous cook or just a good cook, you have to practice in different places and learn techniques, and you can't practice. You really have to wait for the vintage to practice, and then this is when you have to be at 120% and remember everything and know everything what is going on around the grapes, around the wineries, so you can gain knowledge.
Right.
This is very precious knowledge.
Right. It's like all years rehearsal, and the beginning of harvest is opening night.
And you see it, the older winemakers, they have really good experience, and they have seen a lot of different kind of varieties and different kind of vintages. Yeah. So you learn a lot from them.
You have an advantage in that in the Loire, you're head winemaker of the entire Loire portfolio, so you must make a lot of different labels. Think about the little Burgundian who sits there with 3 acres and once a year makes one wine.
That's right, yeah.
So in his lifetime he's going to make 40 wines. You probably make more than 40 wines in a single year.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah? And which is your favorite?
My favorite? Oh, I love the diversity of wines, really.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pick a favorite. I never pick a favorite.
Right.
I'm used not to answer that question. I'm sorry.
I'm glad, because if you'd asked me this, I would have said exactly the same thing.
I would be so sad if there was only one wine, even if it was super good. I would be very sad.
Yeah.
I like the diversity.
Well, that's what we want.
I'm fighting for that.
It's
to keep
liquor
diversity
that wants 2 wines. Right. Thank you for coming in today, Pierre.
Thank you.
It's been really delicious and lovely having you. Cheerio.
Cheers.
Thanks. And thank you for watching. This is Pro and Con, and my guest today has been Pierre Charon. He's the winemaker, the head winemaker with the Loire producer Ackerman Remy-Pannier. Join me again soon when I invite another interesting guest to come and chat with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.